need to do something about these boxes, otherwise it might be a problem. Yikes, I am so not looking forward to opening these boxes. So you're probably wondering why am I on the club world instead of actually being on Uber 10 and doing like the intro and the yada yada yada. I'm going to leave a comment right here on screen and going to give a shout out to Eric Andino. Sorry if I butchered your name. I'm not perfect and I'm not the best at pronouncing names nor words. And for giving me this suggestion, instead of like going into my gems saying like, oh, I do have a 2-1 physical, a 2-1 crit damage, and explaining my rolls on my gems, I can just go into a gem forge and just show it right there. For some reason it didn't occur to me to do that, but hey, once again, thank you to Eric. Thank you for clarifying me, or well, help me, because I'm an idiot and I always tend to forget even the simpler things. Anyways, let's get started. Hello and welcome to another JMP video. I'm your host JonNario, and today it is another 30k PR video. This time it is the 30k PR Shadow Hunter. My Shadow Hunter is currently sitting at 30,243 power rank. My stats are as follow: 274,464 physical damage, 89 movement speed, so I do have a little bit more movement speed than usual, 103.1% critical hit, and 1,990.1 critical damage. I also have 38 jumps because I believe I do have like the Gunslinger subclass, which gives me 10 extra jumps. And my light, it is at 3,321, which is a little bit above average in terms of the light stat for a 30k PR character. And my gear, I will be doing gear first, then I will be doing gems, because I can just explain the gear right here and then go into the gems inside the gem forge, and they will be a little bit better for me. Anyways, my gear, it is a full crystal 2 set with critical damage movement speed. Some of them have 2-star because this was once on my night when the update came out. So I leveled up a little bit just to get a little bit more power and a little bit more light. And yeah, so this is pretty much the head and the face that I did have on my knight. So that's why it has 2 stars. I'm rocking that 3rd stat magic find because I do not need any 3rd stat, except this one. I might swap it between this one and physical damage, because the Shadow Hunter does need the most damage possible. I'll explain why in a bit. I do have a stellar level 4 ring, which is physical damage magic find. Rat the Berserker, because Rat the Berserker is literally the best ally for any speed farming character. Well, pretty much any physical damage character that isn't based around cooldown. And the only character that is based around cooldown, I would say, is the Boomeranger, but whatever. I don't think that the Boomeranger even needs like Little Birdie. Still, I do use Martial Emblem because Martial Emblem is the best emblem pretty much for any physical damage character, for any physical damage DPS character. Well, DPS type characters, that's what I try to say, not damage per second, damage, physical damage character. What? So I do use Conjurer's Crucible Vial. Conjurer's Crucible Vial, I will explain that in every single video. Conjurer's Crucible Vial is the best vial if you have high magic find and if you don't wanna, go into a cornerstone, or in this case the outpost, to regain your flask. Unyielding Emblem because I don't want to die, because literally this is one of the best, if not the most important emblem if you're not using Death Define, because you will die a lot if you are not careful with without like Death Define. And yeah, I'm using the Rain Destruction subclass. I was using the Mounted Cavalry Knight subclass. I will be using like the Lunar Lancer subclass again because of the physical damage increase, and this character definitely needs it. And the Rain Destruction does help out a little bit. I will change into the Lunar Lancer subclass right now. So right now I have the Lunar Lancer subclass because I definitely need the Lunar Lancer subclass, and now since I do have the Lunar Lancer subclass, my physical damage went in from 274 to 276,163 physical damage, and my jumps are now 28. And yeah, so let's go into my gems. My gems are also as follow. Like always, I will be going in power gems first, then lesser gems, and then lesser cosmic gems. So let's get started. First and foremost, the class gem, I will still explain it as a 2-1 physical, 2-1 crit damage and the same way. So you will see the pearls on screen. I will be zooming in on the camera so you can see it better. And this is a 2-1 crit damage roll. So if you don't know what a 2-1 crit damage, this is a 2-1 crit damage. This one again is a 2-1 crit damage. My fire, it is a 3 critical damage, fully augmented. This was once on my knight. I did explain it on my 20k PR video. This was once on my knight. I did swap it to this character because I got a perfect one for my knight. And I gave this one, which is fully augmented, to the Shadow Hunter. And the gems are pretty much the same. I forgot to explain. This is the same gems that I did have on my 20k PR video. I did not swap. I did not level up any of my fire, air, and water gems. Pretty much all of them are the same. And yeah, so let's go into the lesser gems. My lesser air gem, water gem is all of them, pretty much all of them are 2-1 physical and 2-1 crit damage divided in half. So this one is a 2-1 physical, this one is a 2-1 crit damage. Same goes with my air gems, this one is a 2-1 physical. And next up is this one, this is a 2-1 crit damage. This one is a 2-1 physical, my fire gems, and a 2-1 crit damage. So it's pretty much divided half and half in all of my fire, air, and water gems. And my cosmic gems, my 2 lesser cosmic gems are light 3 rolls and light 3 rolls. So I do have 6 rolls on light. And I forgot to mention my empower gem. I did put this one at the end because there's a reason I did put this one at the end, is totally because I forgot about it. Sorry about that, I did forget about it. But this one is a 3 roll light, and this one is also a 3 roll light. And my empower gem is a 1 of each roll, so 1 light, 1 physical, 1 crit damage. And I also have Berserk Battler. You probably just click off the video or type in a mean comment saying like, "Oh, you suck, what the hell is wrong with you?" And why am I using Berserk Battler on a Shadow Hunter? Berserk Battler is the attack speed increase in power gem ability, so I pretty much have a useless empower cosmic ability, right? No, actually this one is probably the best one if you're using the Shadow Hunter for Uber 10. I will explain why in a bit. The reason I choose this one over Vampirian Vanquisher, there's 2 reasons. One of them is because I was extremely unlucky in getting like Vampirian Vanquisher, but I do have a Vampirian Vanquisher 3 stars, so I could give it to this character. But Berserk Battler not only gives you attack speed, it also gives you light. Berserk Battler, how it works is when you cause damage to an enemy, you will get into the frenzy state, or stage 1 that I like to call it. And the stage 1, which is the frenzy state, you will get a 15 plus attack speed and you will get 250 light. Which may sound like it is amazing, it is actually really good. 250 light is actually pretty useful. And 15 attack speed is okay. But if you keep causing damage, you will go into the Berserk state. The Shadow Hunter goes into the Berserk state rather quickly because the Shadow Hunter does a lot of constant damage, and the Berserk state actually increases your attack speed by an extra 25, so you will get a 40 plus attack speed, and you will get a plus 500 extra light, so you will get a total of 750 light just from Berserk Battler and going to the Berserk state. 750 light is an incredibly an incredible amount of light. The Shadow Hunter definitely needs the most light possible. I cannot stress that enough. The Shadow Hunter is one of those characters that definitely needs the most light possible if you want to do Uber 10 with the Shadowhunter. And pretty much Berserk Battler is a lifesaver. You will see like the difference in my damage is, I believe my normal damage is like 1.2 mil, 1.23 mil, around that damage per arrow. When I go into the Berserk state, that could go almost to 1.6 mil per arrow, and trust me, that is 12 arrows per second. That is a really big increase. That is around a 4 mil damage increase per second, which is actually really good. And if you combine that with the 250% increase from Martial, you can tell that I can do over 3.9 mil damage per arrow when with Martial, and I can kill bosses within the 3-second span. But that is my reason I use Berserk Battler on the Shadowhunter, and the reason I would strongly recommend any Shadowhunter main to go with Berserk Battler instead of going Vampire Vanquisher, because of this one. The light increase is just amazing with the Shadowhunter, and it will help you a lot if you're grinding Uber 10 with your Shadowhunter. Anyways, I will be going into Uber 10 in 3, 2, 1, and we're here in Uber 10. So in Uber 10, I will be answering your guys' question. You're probably thinking, you probably saw the title and thinking, is the Shadowhunter really that bad? Is the Shadowhunter good in Uber 10? A lot of people in the community say that the Shadowhunter is bad after the U10 update. It's one of the worst classes in the game in terms of Uber 10. I wouldn't go as far as say it's one of the worst class, but I've heard people say that this character is one of the worst class in the game, and I will let you be the judge of that. So this is me. Okay. So yeah, the Lunar Lancer subclass increases my damage to over 4.1 mil damage. That is incredible. So this is an Uber 10 Shadowhunter 30k PR with Martial Emblem. This is against a boss, and you saw how fast or how much it took me to kill a Uber 10 boss. I'm just gonna say that the Shadowhunter isn't all that bad as a lot of people make it out to be. The Shadowhunter is still a useful class, is still usable in Uber 10, but this character is one of those characters that I will say that this character is scaled rather poorly in Uber 10. It is not as efficient and deadly as it was in Uber 9, because in Uber 10, if you didn't know, even if you have max light, you will not deal like half the damage that you do in normal Uber worlds. So if you're in normal prime Uber world and you will deal, let's say, 5 mil damage, and you have maximum amount of light, if you go into Uber 10, you will be dealing like 2.4 mil damage or 2.45 mil damage. So you wouldn't be even dealing like half the amount of damage. I'm almost maxed out in light with my Knight, and I'm still not even dealing 25 million damage with my Spirit Squire. I'm still missing 200 light, and I'm not dealing even 25 million damage with Spirit Squire without Martial. And in normal Uber worlds, I do 55 mil damage. So even with almost max light, you will deal like half the amount of damage, and it hurts a lot, especially with this character like the Shadowhunter. Some characters do have like really high DPS and really don't need like a maximum amount of light, but this character definitely does. And I would strongly recommend you, if you are using the Shadowhunter or planning to use the Shadowhunter in Uber 10, try to get as much light as possible with the character. And if you get like the most amount of light possible, you will definitely kill a lot faster with the Shadowhunter, rather than just go into a high coefficient, because some characters can, like the Gunslinger, the Revenant, you can use them without light. But this character, if you use this character, my God, if you use this character without light, it's almost 5. Well, it is 5 a.m. by the way. That's why I'm like all over the place again. If you use the Shadow Hunter without light and you go with the highest coefficient possible, you will not kill fast. You will kill extremely slow. Like the Shadow Hunter will suffer a lot. So if you want to use the Shadow Hunter efficiently, go with the most light possible. I will also strongly suggest you to use the Berserk Battler, like I mentioned before, because light, it is an incredible source of damage, especially for something like the Shadow Hunter, since you're constantly dealing damage with your basic attack. And your basic attack, you will be dealing like a lot of basic attack, and you will get into the Berserk state rather quickly, and you will get a lot of damage from it. Also, another thing that I will mention, it is that the Shadow Hunter does not have like a stun effect. It is not a high DPS character. It is also not like, well, it is a mobile character. It is an extremely mobile character. But it does not have any stuns, and it does not have any high DPS. The characters without any stun and no DPS will suffer a lot. The only good thing about the Shadow Hunter is, like I mentioned, it is a really mobile class. You can move around and shoot a lot of stuff without like taking a lot of damage. Still, the character will suffer a lot compared to some characters with higher than average DPS. Some characters with higher than average DPS will pretty much destroy Uber 10, no problem. And this character, we'll say, is still usable, is still good. You can still do well, but you definitely need to, build it properly in order to, get it to to do Uber 10 consistently. One of my biggest tips is, as you're seeing on screen, it is me jumping around and shooting downwards. Jumping around and shooting downwards, especially if you're in a cursed skull, all enemies that attack in close range will go below you, so you can hit all enemies at the same time and you won't take any damage. It is probably the best strategy that you should do if you're playing as a Shadow Hunter. Just keep jumping, keep tapping the jump button, and keep shooting downwards, and always focus on the ranged enemies first, and then just keep shooting downwards if you're only facing against all physical damage close range mobs. But still, if you're facing against a boss, use your martial emblem. Even if you're using Death Define and you don't have like any means of recovering your HP, well, not your HP, your flask, like I'm doing with Conjurer's Crucible Vial. And still use a flask and use your ultimate ability. I will strongly suggest you to use the ultimate ability only on bosses if you cannot kill like rather quickly, because against bosses, with the ultimate ability is still an incredibly overpowered ability, and the ultimate ability will pretty much one-shot most bosses. If you're in 30 KPR, you'll pretty much one-shot all bosses, including 3 stars. So still use the ultimate ability only on bosses, especially if you're in a 3-star dungeon. Just save it for the 3-star boss, and use your basic attack on Cursed Skull. If you're on Cursed Skull, this is your strategy. Just keep tapping, go into the middle of the Cursed Skull and keep jumping and shooting downwards. If you find a ranged enemy, just jump towards the enemy and keep shooting downwards. I need to be careful because this character, I can die really quickly. So that is your strategy. Again, if you're facing against a boss, just use your ultimate ability and miss. Thank you, lag. I'm just going to put this out there. You can main the Shadow Hunter. If you're worried if you cannot use the Shadow Hunter, if you stop using the Shadow Hunter because you heard some people say that the Shadow Hunter is trash, you can still main him. That was an example, by the way, of the ultimate ability. You can still main him. You can still use him. You can still do well with him. But you will not. You definitely need to use the most amount of light possible. And you also, I would strongly recommend, if you're a death-defying player, go get Berserk Battler. It will help you greatly in your kill time. You pretty much saw it from 1.2 to almost 1.6. It is an incredible amount of damage increase. And if you're not a death-defying player, if you're like myself who uses a Conjurer's Crucible Vial and use Unyielding and use a lot of Martial, then you don't need Berserk Battler, but it is an incredible damage boost if you have it. So still use it. It is an incredible gem ability. It's probably the best gem ability out there for Uber 10 farming, for any Uber 10 character. And yeah, anyways, I will be doing this 3-star dungeon and I will call it a day. But I'm just going to say, let me know about this topic. Do you still think the Shadow Hunter is bad? Do you honestly hate the Shadow Hunter? Do you think that the Shadow Hunter is bad in Uber 10? And if you do, let me know why in the comments below, because I'm interested to see other people's opinion about this topic, about the Shadow Hunter. Why is it a lot of people consider it to be bad? I know that the DPS isn't necessarily the highest. I know that for a fact. Seeing that a lot of people say that the Shadow Hunter is bad because it doesn't do enough damage. But yeah, let me know what you think of this topic. And also, if you have a Shadow Hunter, let me know which power rank are you. And that is all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around as always. Leave a like if you want to help the channel grow. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And that is all for today. Once again, thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep on hunting. And also, thank you for the amount of support. With recently got to 350 subscribers. I believe right now we're over 360 subscribers. That Revenant video blew up for some reason. And a lot of people were very supportive and really did like the the Revenant video. And I'm glad that a lot of people are liking the 30k PR, I like to call the 30k PR project. And yeah, so that is all I have to say. Once again, thank you for the support, and yeah, see ya.